Tov. So we're holding now the last Ot Zion. We're going to finish the entire Maamer tonight. We've been learning this for weeks, and tonight we finish it. The next Maamer is on a new pasuk of Shir Hashirim, but we're going to finish this one with a very interesting thing. It's short, but very interesting. We're going to do a siyum on this Maamer. There's a pasuk in the Torah that says like this: "Mipnei seva takum, v'hadarta pnei zaken, v'yaresa me'elekecha ani Hashem," which means like this: for a ripe old age person, you should stand up. You should give respect to the face of a zaken. A zaken, we'll soon see what a zaken means. And you should fear God. I am Hashem. So the question is, when you say a ripe old age, does it mean a person that's just old age, you stand up even if he's not a chacham, just a regular, like he's above 70? Do you stand up for him just because he's above 70?
No, he's a chassid.
No, but he's in other words, does the age itself make anything? Yes. Or does it have to be chacham?
100%.
So the chachamim say like this: Mipnei seva takum is only someone that's ripe old age. So you stand up for them. Why? Because by being above 70, you went through so many things in life, so you became a chacham from just living life. V'hatarta b'nei zaken could be a 30-year-old, because ein zaken ela shekana chachma. What does it mean, zaken? If you acquired wisdom. What kind of wisdom? Torah. There's no other wisdom. So you could be 10 years old, v'hadarta p'nei zaken. But then the Torah adds, v'yaresa me'elekecha, you should have fear of Hashem, ani Hashem. Why does the Torah add that after b'pnei seva takum v'hadarta p'nei zaken? Like, what's the connection? Stand up for old age, give respect to a wise person that learned Torah. You should fear God, I am Hashem. What is it? What's the connection between fearing God? Why does it put it to this pasuk? So the Gemara says, because a lot of people, what they do is, when a chacham walks into the shul, they make as if they didn't see him walk in, so they don't have to stand up. They're busy looking at the messages, the texts, WhatsApps, and then the chacham sat down. Okay, so they avoided getting up. So Hashem says, "V'yaresa me'elekecha." You should have fear of a God, because I know what you're really thinking of. So he knows. So you better don't play games with it. If a chacham comes in, you should stand up and don't make as if you didn't see him. However, this Likkutei Torah is going to say a very interesting thing. You remember we spoke about positive mitzvahs? We spoke about the negative mitzvahs. You remember that? Which one was higher? Negative. But there's one thing higher than negative. It's called the rabbinic mitzvahs. If you remember, we learned in the beginning of the Maamer, Hashem created the world with a scribe, a book, and the subject of the book. In Kabbalah, it's Sofer, Sefer, Sipur. Scribe, book, and the story of the book. Who's the book? The written Torah. Who are the scribes? The sages. They write the oral Torah and they learn it. So the scribes are higher than the book. Interesting, in the Talmud it says, if you walk with a Torah in the shul, you walk with a Sefer Torah, what are you supposed to do? Stand up. So look what the Talmud says. How silly are the Jews that they rise for the Torah, but they don't rise for the Chacham. Yeah. Chacham is higher than the Torah. They're the scribe that writes the book. Because the oral Torah is all, the Talmud is all the Chachamim. So he's going to show you here like this. Mevnei Sevat Hakum is the positive mitzvahs. V'adarta p'nei zaken is the negative mitzvahs. V'yareisam elakecha is the rabbinic mitzvahs. That's why it says v'yareisam elakecha. Why? Because the rabbinic mitzvahs are on a higher level than the biblical ones. So that's why he uses the word yirah, because if you miss the rabbinic, you should have awe of Hashem, because that's even higher than the biblical mitzvahs. So what's rabbinic mitzvah? Purim.
Hanukkah.
Now the Simcha of Purim is far higher than Simchas Torah. Because on Simchas Torah it says that the Simcha has to be limited. To the point that the Rambam writes that in every holiday the Beis Din used to send police officers to where people gather to make sure that people were not acting too frivolity. Like, from drinking too much, they might do crazy stuff. But on Purim? No, Adlo Yada. It's not no police. That you're on a level that there's no such a thing of darkness to begin with. So the drinking has no effect in the negative. It could only be in the positive. Only on Purim, which is rabbinic. Pesach D'Oraisa, Rosh Hashanah, Shavuot, Sukkot, Zaman Simchaseinu. It says in the Torah. No, Purim, the Rabbanan is even higher. Aaron HaKohen.
Who determined this? The rabbis.
It says in the Torah also.
But the Torah says, you still see, in the Megillah it says, V'zichram lo yosuf mizaram. That the Purim will never cease from the Jewish people. So the Chachamim learn from that pasuk that Purim is one of the mitzvahs that's always going to be, even after Mashiach comes. Purim is always going to be. V'zichram lo yosuf mizaram. There's an interesting thing. It says that when it comes to Purim, that Esther Hamalka, she asked the Chachamim if they could write the story of Purim and make it one of the 24 books of Tanakh.
Right.
You understand? Because Tanakh has 24 books. So we have 5 of Moshe and then 19. So they said, in order to do it, you have to find me a pasuk in the Torah that supports it. Find me a pasuk that tells me I should write this story as part of the Tanakh. He says, I'll tell you where the pasuk is. The Torah says that you have to get rid of Amalek. So it says, Ksov zos zikaron b'sefer, v'sim b'oznei Yoshua, ki mochoi emcha ezecha Amalek. You should write in a book and put in the Yeshua, you have to erase Amalek. We learned that in Parshas B'Shalach, I think, yeah? So it says, Ksov zos zikaron b'sefer. The whole story of Purim is getting rid of Amalek. Come on. His 10 children plus the 85,000 Amaleks that lived then, in one day they got killed on Yud Gimel Adar. So Ksov zos zikaron, I want you to write it. So that is a proof. Chacham said, so the Sanhedrin said, we're putting it part of the Tanakh. So she inspired. That's why it's called Megillat Esther. Why not Megillat Mordechai and Esther? Mordechai was also part of the story.
Yeah.
And not only that was he part of the story, Esther, to begin with, you remember? She didn't want to go because she's afraid that they're going to kill her. And then Mordechai says, Ulai, the whole reason you got married to this Meshugana crazy guy is for this moment. And that's why Hashem orchestrated that you're going to marry this crazy Meshugana. That changes his mind every minute. He kills his wife, then he kills this and kills that. So she says, you know what, Mordechai, maybe that's the reason. So she went and did what she needed to do. So that means, so Mordechai is not mentioned Megillat Mordechai Esther. It's only Megillat Esther. Why? Because Esther was the one that asked the Chachamim, can you make this part of the 24 books of the Torah, Tanakh? And they said, you have to find me a pasuk. She says, I found. So it was called Megillat Esther.
But he was also from the Chachamim.
Yeah, one of the 7, it was 70. It was 70 Sanhedrin. So he was one of the 70, but you had to have a majority to vote for the thing. So you see how divrei sofrim, what I'm trying to bring out in the Talmud, when you say rabbinic law, how do you say it? Divrei sofrim. The words of the scribes. When you say written law, katuv b'sefer, in the Torah. So the sofer, which is a scribe, is divrei sofrim. That's the rabbinic law, which is higher than the sefer, which is the written law. So how many rabbinic mitzvahs do we have? The 7 rabbinic mitzvahs: Chanukah, Purim, washing your hands before you eat, Eruv, you make an Eruv, Hadlakat Neirot, to light Shabbos. Every Friday Shabbos is Chachamim. It's not in the... that when you in a community.
איפה אתה יכול ללכת לסחוב משהו? בשבת. ביום שבת יש לך את ה...
And also Erev Chatzerot, Erev Tchumim. So you have a few of the mitzvahs that the Chachamim made, but that's true. But then there's also a lot of minhagim that the Chachamim made. You know, minhagim, like customs. So you say, okay, it's only rabbinic. No, the rabbinic is higher than the biblical. You get what I'm saying?
I hear, but I don't really...
You don't like it. You don't like it.
No, I'm not saying I like it. Just,
We're going to read it
how can
inside.
it be higher by human being than something that God said?
It's, you know, I'll tell you what it is. You're right when it comes to a certain level. You say, how could humans be higher than godliness? But there is a level of God that's above godliness, that humans and godliness is the same equality. In other words, for me, light and dark, there's a difference. There's light and there's dark where there's no light. But when you get to the essence of Hashem, there's no light or dark to begin with. It's not, you know, dark and light is a creation. Hashem himself is above it. So the idea of a human can't reach a high level, that's when you look at in the world of we call it the world of Atzilut, Bria, it's, yeah, humans are lower. But you look in the essence of God, your neshama is a piece of the essence of God. So the fact that you're human is no conflict with being part of the essence of Hashem. You could be human and still be an essence of Hashem.
You can reach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the Chachamim, they reach such a high level, more than the Torah, the written Torah reached. What was the story with Moshe Rabbeinu? You remember Rabbi Akiva?
Yeah.
What happened?
You mean when he...
When he went to yeshiva and when he was there for 40 days on Mount Sinai, what do you think he did there? What was he doing for 40 days on Mount Sinai? So it says during the day he learned the written Torah, during the night he studied the oral Torah, the Talmud. But then he went again for 40 days. And again for 40 days, altogether 120 days, he didn't eat and didn't drink. That's pretty severe not to eat for 120 days. But he came back stronger. So he says he was in the yeshiva in heaven, and Rabbi Akiva, you know Rabbi Akiva, that lived 1,000 years after Moshe, was teaching in heaven, and Moshe was put in the 8th row. In other words, the students, according to their level, that's their row. Moshe was number 8 row. So he's sitting in number 8 row, he's so depressed. I got you the Torah, I'm number 8. You put me so far down. So his face was like very down. And then all of a sudden, Rabbi Akiva's teaching, and one of the students asked Rabbi Akiva, this law you just taught us, where's the source in the Torah for this law? He says, no. There's nowhere in the Torah, but Moshe told us on Mount Sinai that this is the law. Okay, so now Moshe says, you see, they needed me to make this a reality. He felt good already. Now it's interesting when it comes to tefillin, 8 of the laws of tefillin is not written in the Torah. And if you're missing one of the 8, the tefillin is not kosher. Black doesn't say in the Torah it has to be black. Square doesn't say it has to be square.
The four.
There are 4 compartments. It doesn't say straps, leather. Doesn't even say leather.
So they got all this from Vayulu Totafot Bananecha?
Moshe.
That's from saying that.
No, Moshe. When he said our words, he taught them. It's called halacha leMoshe miSinai. He said, "Okay, guys, you know what this means? I'm giving you 8 rules that I'm teaching you now. I'm not writing it down. It's called halacha leMoshe miSinai, and I'm going to teach you these 8 laws. And remember, if you don't have it, the tefillin is not kosher." So it became part of, so to say, it was not written, but it was the oral Torah, but it was halacha leMoshe miSinai.
Is that why you're sitting in the 8th row?
Oh, yeah, that's it. But you got the point? So the rabbinic, what I'm trying to bring out is, even though Moshe got the Torah from Hashem, the rabbis were able to reach a higher level than that. The point was, Moshe was 8th row. So you could take the Torah and go deeper and deeper. Make sense? Or?
Yeah, there was one more thing that we studied together that morning. I forget that the rabbinical, because they keep saying no, and according to the Torah it says yes, and then they went with what?
Yeah.
The people
Even though Moshe was in the 8th row, what that symbolizes, that as high as Moshe got, you can still get higher.
Of course.
Always.
Rabbi Akiva, one of the reasons Moshe was like stunned when God showed him all the generations to come. Ad hayom ha'acharon. And he saw what's going to happen to Rabbi Akiva. That the Romans are going to take metal combs. Here's a cup. Metal cup. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to God, Zu Torah v'zu Schora. The Rabbi Akiva that reaches higher than me, this is how he ends up, with metal combs combing off his skin till he dies. You know, Moshe couldn't understand what's going on here. Rabbi Akiva was able to take from every crown, because in the Torah the letters have crowns. You know what crowns are?
Right.
He was able to learn hundreds of halachot from each crown of each letter. Of each letter of the Torah. Hundreds. It's called halachot. This is like, so you're asking me, what are you going to do when Mashiach comes? We're going to be learning a lot of Torah, believe me.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch the beginning of the surface. Yeah, there's going to be crazy stuff. I mean, so now we're reading inside. Now that you got it, we're going to finish it quickly, and then that will be the siyum of this ois. Va'acha kol zeh yuvin gam pekein pirush pasuk neisei v'takom. It's on the bottom. You see on the right side. It's Zion. Ois Zion. You see it? V'hine mavur b'Likkutei Torah Marizal v'taimei hamitzvos soif parshas kadoshim. The Arizal writes. There's a book called Likkutei Torah of the Arizal. There's Likkutei Torah that we're learning from the Alter Rebbe, but there's Likkutei Torah that the Arizal wrote 500 years ago. He didn't write it, but his Talmud Chavel, and he explains the reason of every mitzvah. He goes through the 630 mitzvahs, so he explains that why do you have to stand up for an older person? Hainu dikna da arech hampim. That's the beard of Arech Ampim. Arech Ampim is the crown above Atzilut. And the reason you have to give respect to a wise person, Hainu Dikna de Zah, that's the beard of Zah. Zah is the 6 Sfirot Chesed Gevura. So the Alter Rebbe says, that's what the Arizal writes. So he says, Ve'ich shayech loima la'adam shalmata. How could you tell a person living here in this world that he has to stand up for Arech and Zah? He doesn't even know what Arech is. He doesn't know what Zah is. How a guy's going to go see God's beard in Arech, and he's going to see God's beard in Zah? We have to stand up. Do you know anyone that sees it? What does it mean, stand up? It's a mitzvah of the Torah. So the Alter Rebbe is asking on the Arizal, you're telling me that that's why I'm standing up, because of the beard of Arich and the beard of Zah, which is the 6 spheres of Atzilut. Who sees it? That anyone that sees it, that's going to stand up. Ela inyan, it means no, akavana al kiyum ha'torah v'hamitzvos. This mitzvah of standing up for the ripe age and the wise person, it's the mitzvah that you have to stand up for the Torah and you have to stand up for the mitzvah. What does that mean? Shehinim shachim, where do the mitzvahs come from? They come from Arach Ampim, which is the crown of Hashem, and from the 6 mitzvahs. Why? HaMitzvahs asay. You remember we spoke about the positive mitzvahs. Where do they come from? Heimam shachas medikna da Arach Ampim. They come from the beard of Arach Ampim, which is the crown above Hashem. Haloi sase. Remember the knot? That comes from Zah. What does it mean? Uchshemekayim ha-mitzvah behidur, mitzvah kadin, hareze mekayim. When you take a mitzvah, unbelievable how the interpretation. When you take, let's say, tefillin, and you do it behidur, like you get the best tefillin, and you get a nice bag and everything.
And you do it
that's the mitzvah of bnei seva takum. In other words, when I respect the mitzvah, I'm respecting the sages, because the mitzvah is like a messenger of God. So by me taking every mitzvah and making it beautiful, that's v'hadarta p'nei zaken. You getting what I'm trying to say? So when I buy a Megillah and it's a beautiful Megillah, v'hadarta p'nei zaken, I do the mitzvah of honoring Hashem. How? Over Yoser, look what he says on the next column. Shahamitzvahs nikra shluchei Hashem. Every mitzvah is like a shaliach. A shaliach is a messenger of Hashem. Ushluchei shel adam kamaisai. A messenger is like the sender. So who is the sender? Hashem. Who is the messenger? The mitzvah. So when I respect the mitzvah, I'm respecting Hashem. That's mibnei seva takum. So basically, what does it mean? Respect mitzvahs. Do mitzvahs with hidur, because hadarta p'nei zaken means making the mitzvah beautiful.
Hidur comes from hadar.
Hidur is hadar, beautiful, exactly. But this also includes hidur talmid chacham. What does hidur talmid chacham mean? When you see a talmid chacham, you have to give him respect. Vikima, and also to stand mipnei sefer Torah, right? When you take a Torah, you have to stand. Ukamavur Zoya Seif Pasuk Kedoshim. Rav Amnuna Sabat, Rav Amnuna in the Zohar, they have like different Tanaim. So Rav Amnuna Saba was like, they called him the old, because he was very wise. Not old because he was old, it was just very, very wise in Kabbalah. When he saw Sefer Torah, he used to stand up and he said, stand up for the Seva, because this is God's Torah. I have to stand up for the. You understand? I'm standing up for that. Yanik means even a young child, but he learned Torah. You have to stand up for him. A Yenuka. He learned the whole Torah. So it's V'adarta P'nei Zaken.
Yeah, Arizal himself was what? When he died, he was 32.
Yeah, young. So you still stand. Yeah, for sure. 35, I think.
35?
38, maybe. But the point here is I remember in Yeshiva, there was a Bachur that actually finished the entire Talmud. He went through the whole Talmud and he made a siyum. And the entire community came. V'adarta P'nei Zaken. He finished the whole Talmud. I think it was 18-year-old. Listen, he did it. He's also
it's amazing.
18-year-old to go through the whole Talmud. It's not. It's not.
To say V'adarta P'nei Chacham.
Oh, so whenever the Torah uses the word Zaken, it calls Ein Zaken El Shekana Chachma. Zaken means someone that acquires wisdom. It means he learns Torah. Why do they use the word Zaken and not Chacham? Because it represents the 13 attributes of mercy, which is the Zaken, the beard of Hashem. So a person that learns the whole Torah, The 13 attributes of mercy is revealed in him. So he's like the beard of Hashem. When you look at him, you see the beard of Hashem.
Because Zaken by itself is not really a compliment when you think about it. What?
A beard?
Why?
No. Zaken. Zaken.
Do you want I should call you Zaken? Or I should call you Yannick? Yannick means young, Zaken means old. What would you want I should call you, old or young? It depends what Zaken means. If Zaken means age, then no. If Zaken means Chachma, I want to be Zaken. I don't want to be young. And now, V'hainu Kapir Shal Likkutei Torah. We learned in Likkutei Torah, Seva Talkum Hainu Dikna Da Hashem Chines Saba, Va'ate Kemer Sar Neishik Havavodata Pnei Zaken, which is Huam Shach Mel Gilo Shenimshach B'Chach Mestima, and that's what we said before, Kedepirish Beidra, which remember we spoke about the difference between black hair and white hair. Black is the nose, because a raven is black, Orev is black, and they're very aghzari, they're very mean. So whenever you have to say, no, I'm not doing this sin, I'm not doing this, you're pushing away opportunities, so that's like a black beard. And the white beard represents the positive mitzvahs. So he says, Al yedei kiyum mitzvahs leisese, then you get to reach the level of Vadarta Pnei Zaken. So basically like this. If someone mitzvahs are the shluchim of Hashem. So if someone is doing a mitzvah, you should make it beautiful. Because the mitzvah is seva takum. You're giving respect to the seva because they are representing Hashem. They are a shliach of Hashem. So stand up for them means give them respect. Do the mitzvahs beautiful. Number 2, it goes on chachamim. They're called sofrim. Sofrim is higher than the sefer. And then there's the positive mitzvah, which is the white hair, and then the prohibition, which is the black, and that's what it says. Vadarta Pnei Zaken, that the positive mitzvah is the black beard, the prohibition, is the white beard, and you should respect the mitzvot and especially the prohibition, right? Now he says, what goes after that? It says, V'yeresa me'elekecha. What does v'yeresa me'elekecha mean? You should have fear of God. Awe of God. Okay. That's 2 levels. It could be fear, it could be awe. Depends on the person. What does that go about? Nukva malchus datzilus. And that goes on Torah Shebal Peh. The Talmud, all the oral Torah, the Rambam, whatever, the ganze Megillah. The Malchus Peh, Karinas, and it goes on the Zayin Mitzvahs Rabbanan. So all the oral Torah, all the rabbinic mitzvahs, and Siyagim Ugdarim. Siyagim is the fences they made, and like not to have dairy, chicken, and milk. So all of that. So v'yiresa me'elekecha, you should have fear of God. Goes on what? The oral Torah and the rabbinic mitzvahs. So we have the positive mitzvahs that's in the Torah, the prohibitions that's in the Torah, the oral Torah and rabbinic mitzvahs. Oral Torah and rabbinic mitzvahs is included in v'yiresa me'elekecha. Why? V'chein mashra b'zohar. Omer Rab Shimon. Who's Rab Shimon? Rab Shimon Bar Yochai. Mikan remez. From this pasuk, we have a remez. A remez means like a hint. Le Torah shebechsav and Torah shebapeh. What is that? Torah shebechsav is v'adarta pnei zaken, and Torah shebapeh is v'yiresa me'elekecha. Why? V'in k'malchus ilamat mizah v'koshem v'alzeh nema sarich ke'eder ha'izim. Your hair is like the hair of the izim. Izim is goats. That's why when it comes to rabbinic mitzvahs, the Torah says v'yaresa, v'yareta. Why? Ki chamurim divrei soifrim midivrei Torah. Because rabbinic mitzvahs are more chamor. Chamor means more like severe. So I have to say v'yareita. Be fearful because this is more serious. Don't play games with rabbinic mitzvahs. Uchenoida, as it says in Talmud, arevim alai. God says it's sweeter for me. Divrei sofrim. Who's the sofrim? The rabbis. Yoiseh miyena shel Torah, more than learning the secrets of the written Torah. Why? Because sofer is Maila. The sofer is the scribe, which is higher than who? The Torah Shebachsav, which is the Sefer.
Wow.
Or Commission is bar b'makam achar. There's an interesting thing that it says Hashem is the Ish and Bnei Yisrael is the Isha. But it says Bina Yiseira Nitna Be'isha Yoter Mi Be'ish, which means that the Jews are smarter than Hashem. How could that be? The Koi al Torah Shebal Peh, that goes on the oral Torah, which is Talmud, that has more than the written Torah. So the written Torah is like the husband. The oral Torah is like the woman. The woman has more bina than the written, and the truth is, it is like that. Why? Because there's no way you could understand the written Torah if you don't learn the oral Torah. The oral Torah is what reveals, as we learned in the Talmud. You see.
Most men don't understand.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That's why you don't understand one.
But Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim Chaim.
But in that Torah Shebachsav, there's nothing there. You don't know what it says.
I don't understand.
In the oral Torah is Eilu ve'eilu divrei. You're saying that Shammai and Hillel, they're both right.
Right,
No, that's true. That's the oral Torah.
right.
Yeah, for sure. But there's no way. One of the things that till today I don't understand, the Tzedokim. Tzedokim were a group of Jews that only believed in the written Torah. But my problem is,
How did they put it? They still exist. The Karaim.
yeah, no. But the problem is, there's no nekudot in the written Torah. There's no punctuation where a sentence stops. So you can make like a 500-word sentence. We know it because of the Ta'amim, the notes. We know where every sentence begins and stops. They don't believe in the oral Torah.
Oh.
So how do they read the written Torah? That's what. If you believe in the written, but how do you read it? I can read, instead of basar b'chalav, I can read b'chelev, which is fats.
Right.
So how do you know it's chalav?
It's like almost impossible.
So I don't understand even. I don't even understand how you just live with a written. I don't know what it means. Then tefillin. What does it say in the Torah? Tie a sign. All these other halachot was l'Moshe Sinai. The black, the straps, the square, the 4 compartments, and where do they have
The
it?
same filling, like,
But why?
but they put only the hand, and the head they put in front of them.
But still, how can they not do it?
"Shaltam leotam yadecha, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך." So they put it in front of them.
I thought they put it here.
Here.
למה?
I thought they put it here.
No,
לא.
No?
they put it in front of them.
So this is in front of your eyes, that is right. This is between your eyes.
And Yom Kippur is few days after us or before us. You know, it never matches our Yom Kippur.
Okay, but I'm saying if you can't even read the written Torah, how does it work? I don't even understand. Okay. No, I want to bring out is that without the Chachamim, the written Torah is a code that would mean nothing.
Because it's going together.
Exactly.
There has to be.
But the richness of the written Torah comes out through the oral Torah.
Yes.
The infinity of the written Torah is in the oral Torah.
We wouldn't even know the language if not.
Of course. So the only way you could understand the written Torah is if you learn the whole Talmud. Then it becomes a rich Torah. Then it's Bina Yetera. So the Chachamim are the ones that are Megale, the oral Torah. So they're higher than the written Torah.
Okay.
It makes sense now? Then that's Torah Shebal Peh. But now there's Sheva Mitzvot, the Rabbanan, Netilat Yadayim, Erevin, Chanukah, Purim. Why did they make this? Why did they make Netilat Yadayim? Why did they make all this? In Yanam, why did they create these mitzvahs? Litchois Yinikas HaChitzonim. The whole reason they make you wash your hands is to take away the impurity of your hands, to push away the negative. Why do you light Hanukkah candles? To push away the darkness. Purim to get rid of Amalek. So there, it's a very strange thing. They made 7 positive mitzvahs, but the purpose of their positive mitzvahs was to push away the darkness. In the Torah, it's a negative.
It's like letting light.
They're higher because in the Torah, negative is by not doing. They created a negative effect by doing.
Right.
Do you hear what they did?
Yeah.
They got rid of the negative by what? By doing Hanukkah candles. By lighting the Shabbos candles. So by the positive, they push away the negative. The biblical is you have to be negative to push away negative. So look what he says. It's an unbelievable thing. That's why they're higher. Shal yidei netilas yadayim. Why do we wash our hands? Lo yinku hachitzonim mihamidis mehatzir parnayim. According to Torah, the nails represent negativity, and it's the extras of your midot. Midot means your character traits. Anger.
That's what we do, man.
Exactly, jealousy. So by washing it, you're washing away your anger, your jealousy,
Sorry, what does it mean?
Because your nails is the excess of your character feelings, and it grows. So that becomes the negative. That's why the nails you cut off. So by washing it, you're getting rid of the negative midot. The whole reason you're washing is so your nails become tahor. So how do they do it? How do they get rid of negative? By the Torah, it's don't do. By the Chachamim is no. By doing, you're getting rid of the negative. And Lo yuchal in the written Torah, you can't reach this level only al yedei loy, by not, which is mitzvahs loy says, but in the oral Torah, ba v'nimshach, they get this loy says how? By asay, 7 mitzvahs, shem mitzvahs asay, which is bini yisera, yitnu isha. So in other words, the Rabbanan has such an accomplishment, they accomplished the higher level of the loy says by doing. Because all their mitzvahs was established to get rid of the negative and push away the darkness. How? By doing washing hands, by lighting the candles. So by asay, I'm doing the lo sesa, and in the written Torah I have to do lo sesa to do lo sesa. So you know how much higher that is? In other words, the Chacham have the power to do a proactive act, and you're accomplishing what the Torah does by the negative. Which we know the negative is higher than the positive. But the rabbinic positive is higher than the negative, and therefore their positive could do the negative without being negative.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, just finish the last piece and we'll finish. You know the famous the Gemara, the angels ask God, it says you're not allowed to show favoritism. When you're in court,
Right.
the judge cannot show favoritism to one side.
Right.
So the angels ask God, the Jewish people, you're showing them favoritism over all the other nations. Why? It says, Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha. Yes, Yisa means, I find favor in you. How could you do that? How would Hashem, you're a true judge. You have to be equal to everyone. Why? So what does Hashem say? Ani kasafti v'chalta v'savata u'verachta. I wrote in the Torah that when you eat and you become satisfied, then you do birchat hamazon. You know, according to biblical law, if you eat and you become full, you're supposed to do birchat hamazon. But you know what the Chachamim did? Heim diktedu alatzos akazayis. Chachamim said, hey, 1 second. We're going to make a new halacha that even if you eat just a kazayit, which is, let's say, 1 slice of bread, you have to do birchat hamazon. Yeah. So Hashem says, look, you know why I find the Jews such favor in their eyes? why I like them more than everyone else. I told them they should first get full, then they bless. And the Chachamim said, no. Even if we just eat a kazayis, ubirachta. So there's a whole long Maamar in the Likkutei Torah on this. What does it mean? But the point here is, it's just that the Chachamim have a power that even though the Torah says you should only bench when you're full, the Chacham have a power to go above the Torah and make it only a kazayit. You getting what it is? But that's a very powerful thing, because you can't just say Hashem's name in vain.
Right.
Because let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say I drink less than a revi'it, less than 3 ounces. So I make a bracha before, but I don't make a bracha after. If I drink 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces, then I make a bracha after. According to Torah, the only time I'm supposed to do Birchat HaMazon is I'm full. Which Jew is full?
That's what I'm saying. How can you?
Yeah, okay, one finish. That's why it says, Yereisem Elakecha, Malchus Teresh Bapeh, V'sima Pasek Ani Hashem Dekol Echad. So basically, is that the highest level is the Chachamim. So if we conclude it in simple as Shchora Ani, ונאוה goes on all the rabbinic mitzvot. It's Shchora Ani, it's me, the black Jew, but we made Hashem more beautiful than Hashem is. Guys, you have more power than God.
It took us only
20 weeks, 28 lessons together. What's your question? Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Since Moshe got the oral Torah and he taught it, right? So we have the written Torah and we have the explanation to the written Torah. Why do we need Rambam and Rashi? Why do there's all other Mefarshim for the same thing?
Well, that's you came to the Talmud class we're giving, or no?
Twice. No, I think.
Oh, you didn't come. So I'll tell you the difference.
So you want to come and find the answer there?
No. Rashi doesn't teach us any law. Rashi just teaches us what it says. I want you to understand what the words are telling you. Without Rashi, you don't know what the Torah is telling you. Anyone that just... But anyone that reads the Chumash without Rashi doesn't know what the Chumash is saying.
So what?
He's just explaining what the Chumash says.
So the Torah Shebal Peh that Moshe taught us is not enough. If I learn that, it's not going to be...
Where do you find the Torah Shebal Peh that Moshe taught us? In Talmud. What is Talmud? Talmud is what gathers the entire Torah Shebal Peh that Moshe taught us, and the entire Torah Shebal Peh that all the Sanhedrin derived from the Torah. All of this is included in the Talmud. In other words, the Talmud is what gathers all the wisdom of the Torah that's not written.
But then again, there's other Mefarshim.
Not Mefarshim. There is Rashi explaining you what the Talmud is saying.
Okay.
There's Tosfot that explains you a little more. But what the Rambam did is something else. What the Rambam did is he took the entire Talmud, which is only 70 volumes, and he took the halacha from there and made just halacha. In Talmud, you have all the derivation, how we got to the halacha. So you'll have 10 pages to figure out what the halacha is. By the time you get to the 10th page, you forgot already what the question was. You got into a whole new subject. What the Rambam did was he systemized and made 14 volumes, and each volume with books, and says, okay, I'm going to put all the laws of Shabbos in one section. In Talmud, the laws of Shabbos could be 10 of them in that page, and 100 of them in another tractate, and one somewhere in another tractate, because it's all over. It's not that it covers in one book. They have the whole Talmud, it's spread out. And a lot of it you don't understand. You read the Talmud, you don't understand. So he took and he systemized and said, I'm going to put all the halachot in a system, and you could go book by book and section by section, and it covers every halacha. No reasoning from how we figured it out. That you go to Talmud. I studied the Talmud 60 times, because in order to write the Rambam, you had to learn Talmud 60 times. And he had to know every word inside out, and whatever he wrote, each halacha, he had to remember the whole Talmud. So this is not, even a computer can't do this. Even Google can't. It's a neshama from Atzilut. It's a higher level. It's a capacity that we not even expected to reach. But what do we do today? We take the Rambam and we try to understand what the Rambam is saying. So you have Mefarshim on the side that explain to you just what he's saying. They're not arguing with the Rambam. Yeah. They're just trying to tell you this is what the Rambam is saying. And also, there's parts of the Rambam that looks like it's contradicting to another halacha that the Rambam wrote in a chapter before. So they're going to say, hey, how could he write like this here? And like this it contradicts. So we have to, it must be that it's two different concepts that we don't understand until everyone figures out what he's talking about. You get a little So what I say to people is don't get overwhelmed and say I'm going to do the whole Rambam. But the only thing you should do is just do 3 chapters a day, meaning just do that day 3 chapters. Don't worry about the next day or the day before. Because then you're taking piece by piece. You're not, chewing. And 3 chapters a day means I have to devote an hour. An hour, and it's online on Rambam. It's either Hebrew or English. And you devote an hour. And only an hour a day. And then tomorrow, I devote another hour a day. And tomorrow, another hour a day. Now, what do you gain? Number one, when you learn Torah, you're connected with Hashem. The Torah says there's no deeper connection of a human being than Hashem than learning Torah.
And doing mitzvah.
No, the Torah is even higher than mitzvah. Why? Because all the Torah goes into your brain and it stays in your brain. And what's Torah? Torah is Hashem. So that means in your brain is Hashem.
Yeah, but once you learn Torah,
but you have to do mitzvot, because mitzvot is the actual...
No.
Mitzvot, the actual connection is the mitzvah.
No, the mitzvah you got to do because Hashem tells you to do the mitzvah. But our connection to Hashem just by learning is so deep. Just to sit and learn, that's the connection. The Talmud Torah keneged kulam. My connection to Hashem is much deeper when I learn Torah than doing a mitzvah. That's why the Torah asks, if you have a choice to learn Torah or do mitzvahs, what should you do?
You're saying doing mitzvot, but learning Torah.
No, it depends on the mitzvah. If the mitzvah can be done by someone else, then you should learn. So, for example, tefillin has to be on your arm.
So you have to do it.
So there's no choice, you got to do it. Matzah has to go into your mouth. You can't chew the matzah for me.
Right.
But I'll give you an example. A mitzvah, you could have someone else. Let's say halvaya. If another Jew could go, good. If not, you got to do it. If there's no other Jew for the minyan, so you got to do it. But if there is, so another Jew did it. Yeah. You don't have to go do it if there's already 10.
For the sake of learning Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to play basketball, of course, go to the Levaya.
No, I'm saying for the sake of everything I'm preparing.
Yeah, for Torah, Torah and mitzvot. 100%. Okay, we're going to finish tonight. I want to thank you, sir. L'chaim. We can say Kaddish, because I think...